Boshu, everyone. Hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to Star Nations Organization's main fan page, where I do this live stream pretty much every day, Sunday through Thursday, right in the afternoon here in Tomah, Wisconsin. Welcome. Got to adjust my camera here just a bit. There we go. I have a brand new camera. So it's a little different. It's the same make as the last one, but it's just a little bit different. So I'm going to practice a little bit today with it. So welcome. Today is the Sunday, the 26th of May. I know we're inching in on the last vestiges of the month, right? And tomorrow is Memorial Day, right? Yeah. So everybody here in the States, anyway. Most everybody has it off, unless you live in a tourist area, and chances are you're working the whole weekend, right, as your tourist season kicks off. How do I know this? Because I grew up in a tourist town. Yes, I did. I grew up in Wisconsin Dells, and some of you might be familiar with that. Yeah, I was working two jobs since I was 14. In the summertime. And so Memorial Day to Labor Day, every day you got maybe one day off a week, and then you were at it the whole time, right? So before we get too far down the road with the card information, I am going to like and share the live stream, and I'd invite you to do the same. Even if you're watching this as a recorded, that would really be nice if you could share it. And even if you just share it with one other person, a friend, somebody who you know that might be interested in the information or the spiritual conversation, right? Yeah, because I do. So I'm going to share it over to my mainstream, my news feed. And just so my friends know that I'm live streaming. And then to please join us, right? There we go. There. It doesn't take long. It doesn't take long at all. And, I'm sure that you've heard me say this probably many times, is that sharing and liking and commenting on posts that we find helpful and even insightful, especially as someone who is awakened on their spiritual journey here, right? Yeah, do you remember when you first started out and how much you read and tried to get as much information as you possibly could? There's others just starting out, and so when we like and share and comment on videos, on live streams, and on posts, it helps someone else to find it a little bit easier, right? And so it's kind of like a good deed. We're going to be good deed doers today, as I tell Paul when he goes out to work. A good deed doer. Oh my goodness. And today here in Tomah, Wisconsin, I have to say it's a beautiful day. The sun's out. We got some clouds. It's kind of partly cloudy, but it's 73 degrees. It's gorgeous out there. We even took George swimming today for the first time. Now, he's been in the water, like in a wading pool, but he hasn't actually been in any kind of deep water. And so we took him to a pond not too far from here. And he couldn't stand any closer to me unless I was carrying him. I had my water sandals on, and so he and I were wading in, and he did swim. It took him a little bit, but he did swim. And so now he's all tired out because we actually went to go visit his furry mother, too. We were right in their neighborhood, and she had another litter not too long ago. And I think it was like, I want to say 6 boys and a girl, or was it 4 boys and 2 girls or something like that. And so anyway, we went, and he hasn't seen his furry mom since he left back in September. And so it was kind of interesting to watch their interaction. And yeah, he was, I don't know, she growled at him at one point. And really, I was surprised because he sat down and he was listening to his mom. It's like, holy smokes, I made her mad. But he had two little brothers there, and they have the same dad. So they're two little brothers, and the two little brothers are, I think she said 8 weeks old. The owner, I think, 8 weeks old, same age that we got George when he was little. And yeah, and so there's two left. There's only two little boys left, and it was so hard to walk away and not bring one of them home, But I have my hands full with George. Yeah. All right. So let's see who's in the chat. Rochelle's here. Hello, Rochelle. Good to see you here. Good to see you. That picture you took with your drum was so nice. Thank you for sharing that. She said, played my drum sitting on my deck. Both sounded beautiful. Oh, good. Yay. Yay, yay, yay. And you're also grounded. Yippee. And also shared. And look, you actually have a turtle icon there. I was sharing your story about the snapping turtle the other day with somebody. Yeah. So, last weekend I was in Michigan and I was teaching a drum making workshop, right? And Rochelle was at that workshop and it was really good. I enjoyed myself, and I hope people making their drums enjoyed themselves too. But see, toward the end of the drum making afternoon, Rochelle, there was a big snapping turtle underneath Rochelle's vehicle. Yeah, only her vehicle, and nobody else's. And when they did move Rochelle's car, and got the turtle out of the way first before she could move it. And he this turtle, I call it a he, but I don't know for sure, was sitting there for quite a long time, and then he disappeared. Guess he walked off into the woods. But yeah, so turtle medicine for Rochelle. That's why she's got the icon here of the turtle. Yep. Couldn't miss it. Couldn't say, what was that? Because everybody saw it. Yeah. Hey, Rob. Oh, I know. Sometimes you are and sometimes you're not, even when you are. Oh my gosh. I hope you're feeling better, Rob. I hope you're feeling better. Prayers were out to you yesterday and the day before. Yep. Having you, close, right? Right. Same prayers for you. Yeah. In fact, Rochelle, you could be do a special drumming for Rob next time you take your drum out, right? Yeah. Yeah. Rob says they're faster than you think, but they are pokey when they want to be. That's for sure, especially those snapping turtles. Really. I've escorted one or two in my time across roads. And when they don't want to move, man, they don't want to move. But when they do, they're pretty quick when they do. Yeah. Yeah, those snapping turtles. I think it was with Minnie one time, and she stopped for the snapping turtle crossing the road, and so I got out to try to help it scooch it across the road. Well, you don't exactly scooch a snapping turtle. And I'm talking to it, and he started moving, and I was explaining to him about what the road is and what these big vehicles are, and that we didn't want him to get hurt. And so the quicker he got off the road, the better, because that way he'd be safer. And he did move, and he moved quite fast. Yeah. Minnie was calling me the turtle whisperer at that time. Oh my gosh. And Rob is saying, thank you, a bit, but still recovering. Oh, good. You're feeling better, just a little bit, huh? That's all right. Taking it slow and making sure that you have a full recovery, right? Trying not to rush it. Your body already knows what it needs to do. Yeah. And sometimes, especially, when you're feeling better is when you're tired of being sick, right? Yeah, Rob says I ran into one on the hike the other day. Yeah, one of those turtles. And Rochelle said it was huge, and it was big. It was big. And hey, Jocelyn, good to have you here. We're talking about the snapping turtle that was underneath Rochelle's car last weekend. Yeah, Oops and whoops. Sorry. Rob says, what's a snail say when riding on the back of a turtle? Wee. I know, that's an old one. That's an old joke. Going really fast. And speaking of slow moving animals, porcupines, they're very slow moving too. Just watching them, because when they're not in a hurry, they barely move, and yet they are moving, but you can barely see them making any headway. We've seen them crossing the road, right? And the first time Paul goes, "What is that?" And I said, "That's a porcupine." And so we were kidding around because it looked like it was really moving out, right, for a porcupine, and it was barely. But that's why they got the quills. Because they don't move very fast. Fast, and I think a turtle moves faster than a porcupine. I do. We should have a race, huh? See which one goes fastest. But Rochelle is carrying turtle medicine now. Yes, she is. It was undeniable. Everybody saw this huge turtle, snapping turtle, underneath her vehicle. And it was only under hers. It wasn't, didn't see it under anybody else's, just under hers. So she's got that turtle medicine going on. All right, so we're going to get started with the card information. And for those who may not know, who might be watching this as a recorded video, we continue to use the Lakota Sweat Lodge cards by Chief Archie Fire Lame Deer and Helen Sarkis. Copyrighted 1993, and it's out of print, although you can still get the book used from a few different outlets. I know that Amazon has them. I don't know if Barnes & Noble has them or not, but you can get them from used book outlets as well. And let me tell you, sometimes you can get them used ones, and the cards are in really good condition. So yeah, a couple people had shared that they had gotten the used books and that they were in really good condition. So if you're interested. Okay, so the first card. Now we've had these exact cards on the 23rd, like 3 or 4 days ago, like the 22nd or the 23rd, but not in the same order. Okay. All right, so the first one is Unk. Unk. Do you remember this one? It's about satisfaction and passion. And it's about walking in balance. Right? And see how they are the bottom parts of their body is like a tree trunk. And so they're grounded to Grandmother Earth. And how they're holding on to something in their hands. It looks like branches of some sort, or, and they're holding them up. And to me, that's kind of the connection between heaven and earth, right? The sun is in the background. And if you look, got to look close here, we have two. Somebody was saying that was a dog because the tail doesn't, wolves don't hold their tails that way. But so we have a four-legged grounded to the earth, and we have a bird sitting on a branch, also grounded, but actually they're, those who fly, correct? Those who fly. Yeah, we have the balance because we have male and female. Yeah. So it's about satisfaction and passion to walk in balance. This card is really about creation. It's about manifesting. It's about really feeling the emotions around your creation, right? And so whether or what you're trying to manifest, okay? So whether it is a stable, grounded, balanced relationship, right? Or whether it's about your health, or maybe you're starting a new project, or you're trying to finish a project. It's all about creation and being in balance and feeling the emotions, the passion about whatever it is you are manifesting. Because you know this already, right? Is that our emotions are the fuel that brings or catapults our manifestations into the earth plane, right? And then it's up to us to ground that manifestation to the earth. And so we ground that through our bodies. And there again, that is through our emotions. And so this card is all about how we create, how we manifest, how we walk in balance, right? Yeah. And Rochelle is saying a lot there, many symbols. Yes, there is. Definitely. And the thing is that in its simplicity, right? There's a lot there, but it's a very simple message. All right. So, this author includes a channeled writing about the card. And this is what they say. When you live with passion, you're receiving the full gift of life. I excite all systems of your being. All your senses become acutely aware. The full current of your life surges toward the object of your passion, be it in another human, a work of art, an idea, or principle. I am created by Maka, Mother Earth. In motion with the sun, the very law of life is satisfied, for I am experience in all its delicious splendor. There is no line between passion and satisfaction, for only in passion is the life urge fulfilled. Right? My favorite sentence out of this whole thing is, when you live with passion, you're receiving the full gift of life. Right? And in my world anyway, is that when we are passionate about whatever it is that we're doing, right? It really does bring you into your body and in the present moment. In the present moment. We tend to kind of block, and I don't want to say block out, but we don't really pay much attention to other things going on around us when we're very focused on being in that moment, right? When we're really connected in. Time can pass and you feel like you just got started, but when you look up at the clock, a couple hours could have gone by, right? Yeah. So passion and walking in balance. Says that the balance inherent in passion is the balance among the mental, physical, and spiritual needs we must satisfy in order to feel whole. So we have to really be aware of our emotions and our feelings in all of our bodies, whatever it is that we're manifesting or experiencing. And let me tell you, it's so much easier to do that when you're grounded because you're really present. You're actually more aware of what you're creating, right? When you're grounded. Yeah. So the card is all about passion is the stimulant, a powerful driving force that allows us to feel the essence of life. We're capable of expressing intense emotions and responses. Allow the flow of passion in your life. When you're experiencing the passion, you are fully experiencing the moment. Don't deny one of life's most precious gifts. Determine where your passion lies and embrace that aspect of your life. Acknowledge and accept your true feelings as they arrive, and let the enthusiasm help you walk in balance with your emotions. And so in many ways, this is all about our emotions in many ways. Yeah. Because when we are among our thoughts about our creation, and we turn to our feelings about it, right? Our emotions about it. We should be anyway, being really aware of it. We know that emotions in the balance with our mental mind and our heart, right? When those two things are in balance, that's where we're creating from, is from our high heart. And so it really does help us to be fully aware of our current earth life, right? And so how many of us can say that we're passionate about our physical life, that we are grateful and enjoy where we are presently in our physical life, right? How many of us can really say that? Hey, Julie's here. Julie Shumway Hill. Good to have you here, Julie. And if we're honest, right? If we're honest with ourselves, we could probably say, yeah, at times. There's sometimes when we're not, right? Especially when we're going through a really tough time. And the only thing that we can see in front of us or experiencing in front of us is, that emotion of being sad or angry or scared, or, some of those emotions, right? But even with that, being in balance means that we stop and we pause and acknowledge those emotions' presence. Doesn't mean that we have to wallow in them. Doesn't mean that we can allow them to set up residence within us, but we have to acknowledge them. Yeah, because remember, we've had a card about duality, right? Is that what's the opposite of that? Because when you work your way through whatever it is that you're going through, on the other side of that is joy. It's being courageous and brave. It's feeling the feeling of being safe. That's the opposite. And so we have to at least acknowledge the presence of the sadness and the fear and whatever else emotion that's there. But with this, because that way we can still say that we're walking in balance, right? Because usually on the other side, when we work through those dark nights of the soul times, that's all about huge soul growth. And so if we're manifesting something to occur in our life, we know that change is coming. Because how can you manifest something without change? And energy is changing all the time, right? It's in a constant flow. Yeah. So if we can do this manifesting in balance, right, then we can appreciate it. We can have a deeper appreciation of it, a deeper gratitude for it. It helps us to be in the moment, in the presence of our life, rather than experiencing our own lives as a spectator. Yeah, that's no fun. That's no fun at all. To have your life go by and you're not involved in it. You're a spectator. Yeah, because it's going to move forward anyway, because we're energy. It's going to change. It's going to keep evolving, moving forward. But if we're not grounded and we're not present in our life, then we don't experience it, right? Yeah. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. And so Unk is all about satisfaction and passion. It's about walking in balance. Walking in balance means that your thoughts and your emotions, your mental mind and your heart, right? Your ego and your soul are in balance. Yeah. And that you're living your life from your high heart. All right. So the second card that came to support that first one, help us to understand it more, is, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing this word right. It looks like Tate, but that is not how you pronounce it in Lakota. So it's Tate, right? Tate. Tate, wind. Wind. It's all about change. Kind of like the winds of change, right? And the channeled message to this one is, I am born of the imminent motion of creation. I am all that was, is, and will be. I am the blessed breath of the one who loves you. I am the necessity of motion manifest in your world. I give you the experience of time, of past, present, and future. I share my breath with all of Earth's children. I can be gentle and caressing. I can bring destruction. I am the one who sees to it that no creation begotten of man lives forever, for this is against the law of my Father. Skan. Okay, probably the correct pronunciation of his father is Ska, who says that these children must learn from experience, from change, internal and external, until the knowledge of his origin is all that is left to know. But I need not be harsh with you, dear one. Hear the message in my soft voice. Then I need not become so loud, but for my own exuberance. I have much to tell you, for I travel far and wide, high and low. I swirl in the eddies over the seas and rise high unto our Father and return again to the surface of the earth with messages for you. And that's Tate, wind. I like this picture, I just like this a lot. I mean, how can you not see the motion, right? And the change. In the tradition, the spirit of motion, Skan created Tate. And Tate began to blow across the earth, carrying the seeds of life force, blowing it into the waiting human, the waiting plant. The force of Tate is carried within the seed and passed down through the generations. And so we can say that wind, in this sense, is the life force. It's something that we might even call prana, right? Yeah. But it's constantly moving. It's constantly changing. That's one thing that's consistent, right? Is change. Yeah. And so if things are changing anyway, if wind, Tate is coming in and blowing the winds of change through the earth, then it supports our manifestations as well. Because whatever we choose to manifest, to create, is going to change something in our lives, if not our whole life, right? Yeah. So I think the Tate, the card, came to support the first card, so that we could understand that when we are actively participating in our life and we are manifesting and creating in our lives, is that the universe is supporting us, right? And so that because this particular energy, Tate, is all about that change, supporting that manifesting, right? Yeah. And so the card says, consider stirring things up and make some major changes in your life. Stirring things up. So whatever it is that you're manifesting in your life or that you want to manifest, know that it is going to change your life from anything from a small amount to a complete change, right? There's lots of people that I know that have sold their houses and they're moving. There's a few people that are retiring. There's like this microburst of change of people that I know. And there's just more than just a couple, right? There's several people, families that are going through this. And so what is your change? What are you manifesting? And it can be anything. It could be a new house. It could be a new career. It could be a promotion. It could be your health. It could be your mental thoughts, how you want to be more aware of your mental thoughts. And so you catch yourself, right? And a thought that could be a lower vibrational thought, and you catch yourself and you say, oh, delete that one. Let's replace it with. And so when you start to do those, even though it seems like it's a small change, it actually starts to change the flow of your life. And so it's flowing in a more positive way, correct? Yeah. So what are you manifesting? Not trying to manifest, but what are you manifesting? Because there's change that's going on with that manifesting. Here's something Rochelle is saying. She says, I need to integrate my entire being, emotion, spirit, physical, and emotional. Having my left knee replaced this Wednesday, had only a partial 8 years ago, out of commission for a couple of months, going to rehab for 2 weeks before I come home. Wow, that is a huge change, Rochelle. That's huge. Because you're right, it's going to affect every aspect of your life, right? And I'm sure you've been living with pain, because otherwise you wouldn't be doing the surgery. Something has been going on with that knee for a while. Yeah. And anything to do with their legs and their feet is all about that motion forward, right? That movement. So you've manifested, created change in your life by making the decision that now, okay, the doctor says this about my knee. I have a choice to make. You chose to have the surgery to have a bionic knee, right? Yeah. Well, good for you. Good for you. I know it's not going to be a walk in the park, to have major surgery like that. But you're going to be able to move so much easier. And even with what I talked to you about with your shoulder is I pleaded with you, please do your therapy. Don't cut it short. I know it's going to hurt. But it's really important to do your therapy 110%, because you want full range of motion. Yep. I know a lot of people who didn't do the therapy the way as it prescribed, and now they're saying, gosh, I wish I would have done it then, because they don't have full range of motion. Yeah. They limited themselves by not being fully engaged with it. Even though there was some pain with it, they had to be fully engaged. Rob is saying, I Ching, Book of Changes. Absolutely. Absolutely right. And Rochelle says, I've been in discomfort for a year. Yeah. Yeah. And so I know it's going to be extended now because you're actually doing the surgery. But this time next year, you know, you're the bionic woman. You got the new shoulder and you're going to have the new leg, the new knee. Oh my goodness. You'll be dancing. Yeah, Rob is saying, call her Jamie Summers. That's right. Bionic woman. Tired, I think you mean, of surgeries. I know what to expect. Yeah. Yeah, you do. It's not your first dance or your first rodeo, right? Yep. You know what to expect. You know what to prepare for. Now, I'm sure that there's going to be some things that come up that's going to be brand new to you. But in general, you know what to expect and what to prepare for, how to go in. Take your entire team in with you, right? Your spiritual team, helping them, ask them for help to help prepare for it. Yeah. And we'll be praying for you. You know that, right, lady? We'll be there for you. All right. So with the wind, Tate, they're saying there are times when major changes are called for, and other times slight adjustments is beneficial. Whether you make a change in diet, move furniture, or change your place of residence or your career, it's up to you to look within to find the shift appropriate for you. So if there is a life change you've been avoiding, it's now time to take steps to cultivate that change. Okay. So we have these two cards, right? We have Unk, which is about satisfaction and passion, walking in balance, manifesting, that's really about. And Tate is about change. And so we're creating a change in our lives consciously doing that. And I know a few people who have been looking at changing their career. These are not small changes. This is not going out and buying a new chair. Right? These are life changes. Right? You know, what did they say? The huge changes in someone's life where we actually experience some of the emotions of grief is divorce, changing residence, changing job. There's 5 of them. I don't know if getting married is one of them. It probably is. And retiring. Those are the 5 that really affect our lives. That we actually go through some of the stages of grief with that. Even if the change is good, you know, it's a positive change, and that you really worked very diligently at creating the change. When it's present, and we're actually experiencing it in the physical sense, that there's still some grief attached to it. You know, I was watching one of my sisters, good friend, close dear friend, Minnie Kansman, as she was preparing to move from Michigan to Colorado, and bearing witness to that, right? And the kind of sadness, even though she's fulfilling one of her lifelong dreams, there's some sadness there because of friends and family that she's leaving behind in Michigan, right? Yeah. Going through a lot of their belongings because they were right sizing. I'm not going to say downsizing. They're right sizing for their new place, and having to release and let go of some things that brought back memories, right? But they didn't have room for it in their new life. And so, yeah, so the move itself is a good thing, But in order to go through it, to proceed through it, that sometimes we have to experience some of those emotions around grief. And a lot like with Rochelle. Yeah, thank you, Rochelle. She's saying death. Yes, that's the other one. That's the major one, right? Is that when we go through those kind of major surgeries, when we don't do our therapy and fully engaged in it, right? Then we have other things that we have to deal with in our lives. But you have to be fully engaged in it, and you have to experience the pain. You have to experience the all that's wrapped up into that in order to have it complete, right? Yeah. All right. I'm missing some things here. I'm going to go into chat. Looks like Stephanie is here. She's posted a bunch of our what we have going on at Star Nations. Thank you, Stephanie. All right. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody's comments. All right. Here we go. Oh, yep. Yeah, death, definitely. Forgot that one. Sorry. That's a huge one. And that's the one that brings all those emotions, right? And is this what's the YouTube about, Rob? What's the YouTube about? Okay. Gotta look at the time here. So the next card that came, I know I had 4 cards today. 2 of them, they came in twos. And so the next card we've had before, we, which is Lakota for sun. We. And the channeled message for this one is, I am the embodiment of the source of all being. I am all, create all, and devour all. I am the manifestation of all that is your creator, Wankantanka, the great mystery. You seek from me words to enlighten. I live beyond words. Look at me, feel me, experience me. There is the knowledge you seek. I am the light. And the tradition of the card, according to Lakota tradition, the creator, Wankantanka, was alone in an endless, timeless place. He decided to create from himself spirit forces through which he could create the universe. In course, he created the 16 mysteries. The first created was we, who from pure spirit became the elemental energy of light and life, the teacher and the sustainer. We was transformed into the sun with the power to provide the energy for earth to produce the substance of life. Okay? So Tate is the life force. That's what they called it. And we, the sun, provides the energy for the earth to produce the substance of life. Okay? So whatever we create, whatever we manifest, it has a spirit to it. It has to, because it has part of our spirit, right? But we create that, just like when we create a drum. When we create a drum, we're creating, we're birthing a brand new spirit onto the earth plane. And all of our creations is the same way. That's why my mom, when very young, she taught us this, is that no matter what you're making it with your hands. And so a part of you goes into whatever you're making. And so to be really aware of your thoughts and your emotions, because they're getting embedded in whatever you're making, right? Same thing in our manifestations. When we're manifesting, when we're consciously creating, is to be mindful of our thoughts and our feelings, because all of that is getting put into our new creation. We is our central sun. That's our inner light, our inner sun, our inner flame. We need to create, to sustain our creation. You could even say that it's part of our solar plexus, which is our willpower, right? Our will center. Yeah. It says that you're on the road to becoming, accepting, and acknowledging the power within. Isn't that nice? I'm going to say that again because I think it's pretty important. You are on the road to becoming, accepting, and acknowledging the power within. The sun lights your way, making your direction clear, allowing you to see your power. It's time to express your personal power by using your inner gifts. Direct your energy and you will achieve what you have set out to achieve. You may want to sit in the sun, letting its radiance and warmth encircle you with power and strength. Let the sun's light help you to gain the confidence you need. Recognize the inner light, the inner radiance, in order to illuminate your personal vision for the future. You will find that once the vision is clear, your power is at hand. Okay, so we have these three working together today for us. It's a reminder, Spirit's reminding us about our manifesting. About our manifesting. About walking in balance, about having the balance between our mental mind and our emotions. And in that creation, we're creating in a balanced place. We're creating something that's going to change our life. That's Tate, the wind, and blowing in that life force into our creation to bring it to life, to bring in the spirit of it, of what we're creating. And the sun, our inner light, our willpower, our inner power, is the generator. This is the one that's giving us all the power to bring this new creation, this change that we're creating to us, to that manifesting. So we really, really have to, this is the second, maybe even the third time this month that this has come up. Yeah. And so I think Spirit is really, really telling us that not only are we creating something that's got huge change to it, right? But I think it's a really big reminder that we are co-creators, that we are creators, that we have not just the ability, but the opportunity at any given time to create something. And so what are we creating? What are you creating? What have you decided that you want to have a change in your life? And how to create that? How to bring it forth, right? Thank you, Rob, telling us that YouTube is about changes by Gordon Lightfoot, one of your favorite artists, right? Yeah, because I think the feeling I have is that Spirit is really reminding us today that we're powerful creators, that we have the ability to do that, to create change. to create the life that we really want so that we can actually use our gifts to their fullest extent. We have the ability to do that. We have to choose. We have to choose to do that. We have to choose whatever it is that we have to do to bring that about, whether it's healing an aspect of ourselves, right? To be able to do that, because we have the opportunity, we have the ability to do that kind of creation. So, is it, say for me, my personal experience is to have a really healthy diet so that my tendency toward type 2 diabetes is in balance, and that I am at my optimal to not just to create, but to sustain what I've created. Star Nations takes a great deal of energy to keep in a stable place that can grow from that place, can continue to expand, right? And so I have to make those changes in my life. That's why I'm doing this liver cleanse. It's going to take me an entire year to do this, a little at a time, but I'm doing it. And others might have, as Rochelle was saying in the chat, is that bringing every aspect of her life into balance. Yeah, because we are really huge creators. Our inner sun is the generator. It gives us the energy to create, right? Our will. Yeah. Rob says, Gordon Lightfoot, he's okay. All right. Jocelyn's saying, I know we have the ability to do it, but what do you do when something keeps holding you back from your changes? Something always stops me. Okay. Good question, Jocelyn. Really, that is an excellent question. This is what I've done. All right. Because I can only share from my personal experience. Is that I have to look at, even if I don't want to see it and I don't want to acknowledge its presence, I have to see what is it that I'm doing that's my part, that only I can change, right? Not somebody else's stuff, but my own things. So I'm trying to think of a good example. Oh, all right, here's one. Years and years ago, I had to say no to a family member. I had to say no, which created a tsunami of emotions, a tsunami, and ended up where my parents disowned me for 5 years. Yeah. It was not a good time. It took me to my knees. And you might say that it stopped me in my tracks. And so what I had to do is I had to look at what was my part in this. What is it that I am responsible for in all of this? And it took me out of being the feeling of being a victim to what is it that I have to change or heal in order for me to be where I want to be, doing what I want to be doing. And so that was really, really hard. It took me a while. I had to look at some of my belief systems. I had to do a lot of forgiving, not just of other people, but of myself. And that was probably the hardest part, because we really have to look deeply into our own being to find out what am I doing that I'm blocking this? What am I doing? What can I shift? What can I change in order to free that up? Right? That's where you start. That's where you start. Now, there's other things that come into play that maybe is occurring. And I have to say that I don't want to call it rare, but it doesn't happen nearly as often as it used to. Okay? Got to take a drink. And what I'm going to talk about is bad medicine, is when someone is using their gifts in a way to hurt you. And so many times, this happened more and more in the old days, where today there's not that many people that really know to that kind of extent how to use it, right? Which is a good thing. But on the other hand, there are times when we have to take a look at that. When somebody is trying to stop you from doing something, right? Or being happy or something like that. But generally speaking, it's been my experience anyway that we really have to look at. We really have to be brutally honest with ourselves. What part of whatever that is feeding your ego, and that the ego is out of balance. That was mine. And so it teaches you, taught me about humility and being humble. Yeah. Yeah, it took me, I also went into therapy over it. I did. I spent a few years in therapy with it. And got to the point where I realized that I was helping my therapist more than she was helping me. So I thought, I guess we're done. I guess we're done with that. I don't know if that helped you or not, Jocelyn, but yeah, if you sit with it and ask your spiritual team to show you, what is this that I am responsible for? What's on my side of the street with this that I can change, so that I can learn whatever it is I'm supposed to learn from this, and so that we can move forward, right? So to talk to your spiritual team and have them show you, whether it's going to be in synchronicities or maybe through a dream or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, good. And let me know, Jocelyn, let me know if there's anything that I can do to help. Okay. Yeah. You can either PM me, or the next time we have this, we can have a chat about it. Because I'm sure that whatever that is will help somebody else too. I know we only have a couple minutes, but here we go. Here's the last card. Chawakan. It's the tree of life. Chawakan, the tree of life. And it's all about acceptance. It's all about acceptance. The channeled message is, in me, all life is one. There is no demarcation of other. The nuances of vision may vary, yet the essential sap is nowhere separated and is in itself exaltation. I am the bearer of this knowledge, this understanding, this experience of grace. However you may insist on believing you are a part from which is in you, that which surrounds you, the law is all will bring you to me, to union and communion. I bless you. So this is about everything being connected. All of our relations, right? That nothing is separate, including us, two-leggeds. That we're not separate from the whole, although we tend to think we are. And maybe, hey, maybe that is sometimes at the bottom of the possibilities of why things are not flowing in a positive direction. Is that are we considering ourselves separate in any way, shape, or form? Right? And that has a lot to do with the ego. So the card is the Tree of Life reminds us to be patient and accepting as we travel our spiritual path. Open your heart to all your brothers and sisters and to all of creation, relinquishing judgments and expectations of yourself and others. Allow all relations to be exactly who they are. Accept all that you are. We are all connected parts of the great tree of life in its thick foliage. Although each leaf has its own individual form and life, all grow from the same source, the same roots, all sway together in the same breeze. Trees grow strong and tall, with each leaf adding its part to its beauty of the whole. We must accept that each of us is only one leaf by itself. One leaf does not make a tree. So honor the abundant diversity of spirit and rejoice in a place within the fabric of creation. So I'm believing that with all of everything that the cards are bringing us today about manifesting that change, about the life force entering your creation, about your inner sun, generating the energy for that to occur, is that when it does occur, sometimes we have to be patient in its occurrence. It's going to happen in divine timing, right? But to also to know that we are part of the whole, that whatever we create does affect others. It does affect not just us individually, but it affects everyone around us and everything around us, right? And that this, to me, is showing us that this change is good. What you're manifesting is a positive creation, that it affects all of us, right? And it's a good thing, even though it may be difficult. And we have to go through some trials and tribulations a bit with it, that the outcome is a good one. And it's going to affect a lot of people in a good way, right? Yeah. Wow, that was a big one, huh? So you know that anything and everything that may have resonated with you, to embrace it, to bring it close, even if it was just one word or just one phrase, right? Is to bring it in close and be aware, watch, see, sense, feel how the energy is flowing around you and within you today, and where this information could be helpful. Yeah. And if it didn't resonate with you, don't worry about it. It's okay. No worries. There's always tomorrow. Oops, I'm sorry. Tomorrow's Monday. Tuesday's card drawing, because we're going to take tomorrow off since it's a holiday. Well, you guys probably have other things to do, right? So, and Rob is saying in Hebrew, it's Hayim. It's Hayim. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Yep. Okay. And Rochelle is saying cool. Yep. So, next week we got lots of good things coming up for you guys. We do live stream shows. We're working on Star Nations magazine. We publish on the 10th, so that's out just a little ways, but we're working diligently on it. I still have lots to do on it today. And so next week for Polly Joe on Tuesday, May 28th, her show, Chakra Sessions, she's talking about shifting to a fuller frequency. Feeling heavy, sluggish, or not just quite yourself, she says. Maybe it's time to lighten up your load. See how to do this energetically, and calling in light and love and light from a fuller frequency can truly change your life. So that kind of dovetails in with what we were talking about today, huh? Yeah. And on Tuesday night, Communications from Home, which is my evening weekly show, we're going to be doing the Unity Breath together. And so we can raise our vibration to love, which is really, really going to help your manifesting, your creation. When you can bring yourself to that frequency of love, that's a good time. That's a good time to really bring to you those thoughts and feelings about what you're creating in your life. Because then you're creating it from a place of love, a place of balance, right, between your mental mind and your heart. Yeah. So we'll do that on Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Wednesday night is Soul Connections with Polly Joe at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and that's all about healing and divine messages on Wednesday night. Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time is our very first new show, retitled, I should say. The Mystery School is being changed to the name Living in Two Worlds, because it's a little bit more appropriate phrase than the Mystery School and what we do. So on Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time is Carlin Orchard Franklin and myself, and we're going to be talking about the Devas. And the Devas, who are they? What are they? What do they do? Why do we need them? And how do they help us, right? Because they play a crucial role in our lives here on this planet. And so join Orchard, Carl, and I for our very first official Living in Two Worlds live stream on Thursday evening at 8 p.m. Yay! Told you guys. Got lots of good stuff coming for you this week. And tomorrow is Memorial Day. Now, chances I was going to have a live stream, and I thought, well, you know what? I think it would be nice if we all took a moment, or maybe even the hour that we would normally spend together tomorrow, and if we even take a portion of that time and do a little reflection, right? Reflect on those that have been close to us, who have walked on, and do a little remembrance of them. You might even want to light a candle for them, or go outside and take your drum with you, right? And drum for them. I know that Memorial Day started out as a day of remembrance for those veterans that had died at war, a warrior, right? And so if you have anybody in the armed forces who or was close to you, loved you, grandparents, great-grandparents, brothers, sisters, whoever may have walked on as a warrior in war, is maybe to have a special something for them tomorrow, to remember them. Because every time we turn our thoughts to them, they're right here with us, right? As I say that, I'm remembering my dad, right? And my uncles and my grandfather, and my ancestors, right? So just take a little time tomorrow and spend with them as you remember them in a good way, right? With loads of love. With that, we'll see you on Tuesday back here for the daily live stream and group card draw at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 Central. Thank you so much for being with me today. I appreciate it. I love spending time with you guys. And with that, enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we'll see you back here on Tuesday. Bama Mina, that's Potawatomi for until we see each other again. Love you guys.